Chapter 1: The Dawn of a New World. In the late 15th century, European nations began charting unknown seas, seeking new trade routes and resources. In 1492, Christopher Columbus, sailing under Spain's flag, landed in the Bahamas, though he believed he had reached Asia. This voyage set off centuries of exploration and colonization. By the early 1600s, England established permanent settlements in North America. In 1607, Jamestown, Virginia became the first lasting English colony. Life was harsh. Disease, famine, and conflict with indigenous peoples tested the settlers' survival. Across the Atlantic coast, other colonies followed. Plymouth in 1620, founded by the Pilgrims seeking religious freedom. Massachusetts Bay, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and others. Over time, 13 colonies emerged, each with its own economy, culture, and relationship with Britain. Chapter 2: The Road to Revolution. By the mid-18th century, tensions between the colonies and Britain began to rise. The French and Indian War, 1754-1763, had left Britain deeply in debt, and Parliament looked to the colonies for revenue. Taxes like the Stamp Act, 1765, and the Tea Act, 1773, fueled resentment. Colonists protested, arguing they should not be taxed without representation in Parliament. Events like the Boston Massacre, 1770, and the Boston Tea Party, 1773, deepened the divide. By April 1775, the first shots of the American Revolutionary War rang out at Lexington and Concord. A year later, on July 4, 1776, the colonies declared independence through the Declaration of Independence, drafted primarily by Thomas Jefferson. Chapter 3: Birth of a Nation. The war was long and grueling. The turning point came in 1777 at Saratoga, where American victory convinced France to join as an ally. After years of fighting, British General Cornwallis surrendered at Yorktown in 1781. In 1783, the Treaty of Paris recognized the United States as an independent nation, but independence brought new challenges. The first government under the Articles of Confederation proved weak, unable to levy taxes or regulate trade effectively. In 1787, delegates met in Philadelphia to create a stronger framework. The result was the U.S. Constitution, ratified in 1788, with George Washington elected as the nation's first president in 1789. Chapter 4: Growing Pains and Expansion. The new nation expanded rapidly. The Louisiana Purchase of 1803 doubled its size. Explorers Lewis and Clark mapped the new territory, pushing the frontier westward. However, expansion brought conflict, particularly over slavery. The Missouri Compromise, 1820, tried to maintain a balance between free and slave states. The 1830s and 1840s saw forced removal of Native Americans, most tragically in the Trail of Tears, where thousands of Cherokee and other tribes were displaced from their ancestral lands. Chapter 5: Civil War and Reconstruction. By the mid-19th century, tensions over slavery reached a breaking point. In 1860, Abraham Lincoln was elected president on a platform opposing the spread of slavery. Southern states seceded, forming the Confederate States of America. The Civil War began in 1861. It was the bloodiest conflict in U.S. history, with over 600,000 dead. In 1863, Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, declaring enslaved people in Confederate states to be free. The war ended in 1865 with Union victory. That same year, the 13th Amendment abolished slavery. But Reconstruction was turbulent, as the South resisted integration and civil rights for freed African Americans. Chapter 6: Industrial Power and Immigration. In the late 19th century, the U.S. transformed into an industrial powerhouse. Steel, railroads, oil, and manufacturing fueled growth. Millions of immigrants from Europe and Asia arrived, seeking opportunity. Chapter 7: World Wars and Global Leadership. In 1917, the U.S. entered World War I, helping tip the balance toward Allied victory. The interwar years brought economic highs and devastating lows, most notably the Great Depression beginning in 1929. In 1941, the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor brought the U.S. into World War II. America's industrial strength and military power were defeating Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan. Chapter 8: Civil Rights in Modern America. The 1950s and 60s were marked by the civil rights movement. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks fought against racial segregation and injustice. Landmark laws like the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and Voting Rights Act of 1965 reshaped American society. Chapter 9. The Ongoing Story. Today, the United States stands as one of the most powerful nations in history, its influence reaching every corner of the globe. Its story is one of triumph and struggle, unity and division, innovation and reinvention. And while its history is written in textbooks, its future is being written every day by its people.